Hey everyone, it's Coach Matt over here at Primal Athlete Training Center, www.primalatc.com. You know guys, we just finished our rotational shot put series yesterday. We finished our rotational shot put series last Thursday. And the next event that we're going to cover is actually going to be javelin. We had a lot of emails come in. A lot of people wanted to see a javelin video series, so we're going to be doing one for you next, over the next couple of weeks. Before we get to that, guys, on Facebook, make sure, if you guys haven't found Primal Athlete Training Center on Facebook, you can just search that on Facebook, or you can go to primalatc.com, and on the right, there's a little Facebook app where you can click the like button and get right on there. It's as easy as that. We're always doing posts, answering questions, and a lot of people, like my friend Lewis, who had posted on Facebook a couple times that he was looking for more advice on how to apply or how to achieve more torque in the discus. So Lewis, this one is for you, my friend. Now, what Lewis is talking about, when we talk about torque, you have to think of torque as a buildup of power. You have to think of torque as like a old-fashioned, like a Robin Hood style bow and arrow, like a long bow. Not the compound bow with the crazy pulleys and everything else at the top. We're talking about a long bow like you would see in olden days. As you pull back on the rope or on the string, what happens is that the bow's ends will collapse, and the harder that you pull, the more, or the further that you pull back, the more pressure, the more torque is applied. So the harder that you pull back, the more stretched the arms of the bow get, and then when you let go, the further the arrow is going to go. Well, your body, in a way, is like that bow. When you throw shot or discus or javelin, no matter if you do glide shot or the rotational shot, what you need to do is build up torque. Now, when we talk about torque in the rotational events, like rotational shot put and discus, you create torque the entire time that you're going through each step. Every movement, every time that you go through the event, go step by step through the actual throw, you're building torque because your lower body is accelerating faster than your upper body. It actually moves the lower body in front, and you get what's called separation. Your lower body and your upper body learn how to separate. Best way to explain this, anybody who's about my age, mid-20s to about the mid-30s, I'm 31, so anyone in that age range probably played with G.I. Joe action figures growing up. Not the big tall ones like you saw back in the day when G.I. Joe first came out, but the little ones. They're about the size of a cell phone, the little 5-inch, 6-inch guys. And if you can think back to those, basically it was a lower body and an upper body that was connected in the middle by a black, small rubber band. And what you can actually do is turn those guys around so that their feet were facing the other way. You could actually take them and do a 360 so that they were looking like their butt was in front of them. They were looking totally backwards. That's what we want to achieve, is that separation. Now, if you look at me, I have a pretty thin waist. If I would take my shirt off, I'm not going to have a six-pack, okay? I'm pretty thin. Where I am flexible and where I am strong from years of throwing are the sides of my body. My obliques, my transverse abdominis, all those boring muscle groups that I could talk to you for days about. But what I can do, and what freaks a lot of my throwers out, is that I can keep my hips totally straight, and by keeping my hips totally straight, I can actually turn my upper body back to about 4 or 5 o'clock. So the hips are straight, and I can torque and turn my upper body. It's because I have flexible hips, flexible abdominal muscles, and a flexible lower back, and flexible hamstrings, butt, glutes, all the stuff right in my core is nice and flexible. If you do not have a flexible torso, if you cannot separate your body, you're going to lose a lot of torque in your throws. And here's why. As you turn, let me back up a little bit for you. As you turn in the standing throw, say you have the shot put or the discus, if you turn that foot and you're not flexible enough to keep the upper body back, you're going to lose a lot of stretch. You actually need to be flexible enough where you can turn the feet, turn and extend the knee, and keep that body back as long as possible. And what that does, as the body stays back as long as possible, what's actually happening is that your body is now building up all that power. It's storing all that energy right in your core muscles, okay? Right throughout, basically from your knees to your chest, your butt, your abs, your lower back is storing all of that energy, okay? Because it's storing the energy, when you go to throw, you're going to have that whip. You're going to have that torque and feel that snap as you come through. So if your torso, if your core is not flexible, you need to really work on that. Ways of doing that, real simple. Grab onto a pole, grab onto something stationary, turn back, and try to walk your hips forward. Do it evenly on both sides. That's the best way of doing it. You can also strengthen then and get that flexible. A lot of medicine ball drills, throwing a medicine ball up against the wall, keeping the hips forward and throwing the ball to your right and to your left without turning the hip. So just using the obliques, just using the abs. Keep the hips forward, throw the ball to the wall. A lot of other ways of doing it too. You can lay on your back, medicine ball above you, try to keep your butt on the ground and twist from side to side and touch each side of the ground, each side of your body with the medicine ball. Guys, that was a great question from Lewis, who left that on the Facebook page. And you guys can all do the same too. We are going to be starting javelin, but if you have any other questions on rotational shot, any questions on glide shot, any questions on discus, hammer, indoor weight, or anything specifically that you want to see as we go through the javelin video series, please drop me a comment right on Facebook. I'm always checking up on it. I get it right here on my phone. So as soon as you post, I'll see your post and be able to either make a video or shoot you back a quick answer. Keep telling your friends about primalatc.com. Keep letting people know that Primal is the place to come if you want to improve your throws and take new ideas out to the circle on a day-by-day basis.